Hello, my name is Chloe Jordan, and this is my pedigree project or genetic inheritance project for Miss Nolan's 4B class. So first I started with my trait. What is my trait and how is it passed down? So the trait that I chose is hair color. Hair color is a physical trait, meaning that it is shown outwardly, and that it is something that you can usually find out about a person simply by just looking at them, on the off chance that their hair isn't dyed or altered in any way. Okay, so a person's hair color is determined by the amount of melanin in their hair, and melanin is just like the amount of pigment in their hair. One type of melanin called eumelanin leaves people with either black hair if they have a lot or brown hair if they have slightly less, while the presence of pheomelanin can give you red hair. Like many other physical traits, also known as phenotypes, hair is traced genetically. You receive a gene passed down from each parent, and a combination of these genes will determine how you, the child, will look. This also depends on which genes are dominant, recessive, codominant, and completely dominant. For example, a man with brown curly hair and a woman with straight red hair could have a child with red curly hair. This is because the gene for curly hair could be dominant, while the gene for red hair is recessive, but both parents would carry the recessive gene regardless of the father having brown hair. That just means that the father also carries a dominant gene for brown hair, while the mother only carries two recessive genes for red hair. Because of this, siblings can also have different combinations of their parents' hair types and textures depending on the alleles present in them. Hair could also skip a generation, meaning that a grandfather and grandson could have red hair while the mother does not. If both parents carry the recessive gene for red hair, but the grandmother did not, meaning that it did not appear in the mother of the grandson. So, why did I choose this trait? I chose this trait as growing up, I always wondered why my father had red hair. My father, my uncle, and my grandmother all have red hair, and I don't. So I just decided to trace it back. And then here's the pedigree. It's a little hard to see, but you can see that the red hair starts in my family with my grandmother. Both of my great grandparents had brown hair, but you can assume that they carried the recessive gene for red hair, which is why my grandmother got it. And then my father and my uncle both have red hair, and none of my siblings for my father have red hair, and I don't have red hair. And then to my mother's side, nobody has red hair, nobody passed down the gene. And so the genotype for brown hair, since brown hair is, well, in this case, it's dominant, the genotype would be either two capital B's showing completely dominant homozygous, or a capital B and a lowercase b, which is heterozygous but is still presenting brown. And then for red hair, since it's recessive, it would be two lowercase b's. And in my findings, I found that red hair is a recessive trait that seemingly starts with my grandmother, but obviously came before her because she got it, had to come from somewhere. And although none of my father's children have red hair, if I have children with someone who also carries a recessive gene for red hair, there's a good chance that I could have a red hair child. And that's all. Thank you.